Welcome, guys. Was pleased with Saturday. Thought our team come out and played hard, played together, played with a good passion in the game, played from the first play to the last play. You couldn't tell what the score was or what was going on. Kids were flying around to the ball, whatever it was on offense, defense, special teams. Thought focus was good for the game. Thought our mental preparation was good. Controlled the line of scrimmage for the most part. Especially on defense, I thought we really did. On offense, we didn't. We controlled the line of scrimmage. We turned a few guys loose here and there. And by the way, the schemes, I thought we run blocking must get a little bit better. But that was part of the scheme. But I thought we pass blocked extremely well. Thought we picked up blitzes extremely well with a lot of the pressures they had. Thought that a lot of the man coverage they had in secondary, which I thought their secondary was pretty good. They could run. They would hit some big plays. They took a high percentage things away at times. Defensively, I thought we managed to no huddle very well. Thought we played with good leverage on the ball. A couple times when the quarterback kept it, he got a few seams and got some leverage on us. We got a little bit undisciplined when they hit a few first downs. Thought the kicking game, our punter punted the ball extremely well. Thought our kicker kicked it extremely well, not only in field goals but kickoffs. All of them were, 4-2, 4-3, 4-4 hang time, 2 yards deep, 1 yard deep, or out of the end zone. And our coverage teams, I thought, played extremely well. And the punt return game was excellent. Greg averaged, I think, 17 or 18 yards of return, something like that, and won the field position more. And they tried to squib a couple, tried to rugby a couple, and we handled those situations. And then the one kickoff return we had, we got out to the 35, which was a big improvement from a year ago. One of the things that we were trying to focus on kickoff returns. So, there's a lot of things we got to work on. We have to clean up some red zone offense. We were 2 out of 5 down there, had a turnover. And then had 2 field goals that we dropped 2 touchdowns while we were down there, and then had a little penalty on the 1 yard line. It cost us a motion deal. We get into the end zone, so we left some points on the board, but that's something we can clean up and get better at. But very proud of third down. We're 8 of 14 and 1 and 1 on conversion. We were 9 out of 15 on conversion downs, which is big. And on defense, we were 5 of 15, so they were 33%. So that was a good number on both of those things. So and only had 1 turnover. That was a pleasing thing. Opening ball game from that part. I had 1 delay, which was barely a delay, which we shouldn't have got, but administratively got guys in and out, didn't have substitution issues, communication. Was very pleased with that part of it. And there's a lot of things we got to get better on, but for a good opening game and the focus, I thought was pretty good.
Coach, is there anything in particular you saw in tape that you didn't necessarily see from the sideline?
Hey, no, not really. Not really. A couple plays and why things happened. You know what I mean? And then you're a lot closer on some of those runs inside than you think. Missed once or twice we missed a cut, and then a couple times we're just a guy backdoored us. We're so fast, and they come backdoor and we're able to make a play on a couple runs that were ready to come out. I mean, things that you can fix very easily with timing and rhythm and getting the continuity good. And from that standpoint, it was pretty. A few little things you always see. The eye in the sky gets a little better perspective than you do on the sideline.
How did DJ do with his? I know he had some incompletions, but it seemed like he was throwing to the right guy.
Oh, decision was excellent. Like I said, all day, he got a little antsy on a deep ball to Rodney. Had a chance on the first one. I think got it up and should have pulled it, and the wind was coming across. He didn't play for it. He laid it in the middle and let the wind push it instead of playing it to the right and pushing it back. We were in a crosswind early in the game. Had a chance to make that play and didn't. I'm trying to think of another one. He one ball to got the pocket, got pushed back on him. He was throwing to Nick O'Leary in the second half, and he should have just adjusted his feet and raised his hands, and he just short-armed it a little bit. But they threw a slant one time. He scrambled. They rolled the coverage, and he knew it was there, and he went to pull it and didn't, and scrambled. I'm trying to think. He had 4 throws, I think it was, that I was on to him about. And there was one other one I'll think of it here in just a second. But made some real nice throws on third down, hit the deep ball well. Best throw of the day, they called out of bounds on Burt. That might have been the best throw of the day. He stuck right in the corner, right on the thing. Burt should have given him a little more room because he put it right exactly where he was and left him hanging right on the end line like we teach it, right on the pylon. Made a real nice throw to Burt on the first touchdown. Came back to the backside for his 4th read on that one. Once he got settled down, he got going. But he like you say, he was not as comfortable as he usually is. You know what I mean? As far as EJ's a perfectionist, but I was a lot happier with him than he thinks of himself. He wants to be perfect. And I said, hey, he had about 4 or 5 plays in there that were not like we wanted. Made some nice throws. We made a great back shoulder throw to Burt, and Burt made a great catch on a 3rd and 15 down there in one of the drives. I was very pleased with the read he got to get to there. Was really good. I mean, really good, and showed me really understanding what we're doing. So there's a lot to work on, but I was very pleased with the first game. And he threw 65%, I think it was, and had 3 drops, 2 touchdown drops.
He said last week that he knew he was going to be nervous, and he said after the game on Saturday that he really had a major case of the butterflies. But is that good or bad? How does that normally affect
I think it's great. I think it's great. If you don't have butterflies, why are you playing? I told them I have butterflies. I've been in 22 years, and every game I'm in, I have butterflies. And when I lose them, I'll quit. I mean, it's time to move on. And if you don't get excited about that, and being the starter and realizing that, and you're the guy, it's your team, and all those things. But if he's nervous and throws for 65% every week, we'll be pretty good. Makes those decisions. I know that. Well, the other throw I wish he'd thrown away was the interception in the end zone. But that was twofold. That was him. It was there. Bird actually ran the route short. Ran it 3 steps short. Would have pushed him outside, would have been in the hole, would have been a throw after the play fake. He's got the safety coming out, and he saw Burt cut it short. He tries to go ahead and stick it anyway. He said first down, should have thrown it away. Burt got it, but here's a 5th-year senior got antsy. I see a hole, I'm going to run in there and get it, and that's what we can't do. We had a couple of those things, and that was the other throw I was trying to think of. But it's on first down. Okay, if that's the thing about quarterback, you got to be the eraser. If somebody else messes up, you got to be. That's what I say about playing quarterback. It's the hardest thing to do in all sports because it's not just about you. It's about all the 11 guys on the other side and 10 guys here. You got to be able to do that. Sometimes you want to do things so bad that you can't. You just got to. That's a maturity level. And he'll learn from it and move on.
Did you like what you saw from your freshmen and sophomores throughout the game?
I really did. The young guys, I always play. Those young guys like Devontae got in the game, Carlos got in the game. Tyler Hunter was in the game, Nick Wason was in the game, Rashad Green was in the game, Clint was in the game. I mean, I can go on and on. I mean, on defense, even Bjorn. He played some last year, but not as much as he did. Dan Hick, I say Dan's a sophomore. He is a sophomore, coming in there and doing what he did. Tank Carradine, even though he's a new guy here. Junior college player, Jacob Fahrencrew for the Frost Park coming in at center. No fumbled snaps, no bad exchanges in there. Did a nice job. Trying to think who else was in the mix. Nick O'Leary coming in, did a nice job. Made a nice catch, made a couple blocks on the goal line down in there. Those guys, I was pleased for the most part with all those guys that got in there and did some good things. And Timmy Jernigan, he's in there throwing guys around like he's a 5th-year senior. I mean, and getting his hands on guys and doing some really good things, and was very pleased with most of those guys.
How rare is it to have a team come in and hit on all cylinders in week 1? I mean, obviously that's not what happened, but
well, if you do, sometimes you wonder. Sometimes you go, wait a minute, now I got to do this for 12 weeks. I mean, you know what I mean? You want to play well, but as a coach, you always see things. I mean, you always see things, and hopefully we'll peak at the right times and do what we got to do. But I was very pleased for an opening game as far as their maturity, how they approached it. Communication levels, how they went out, they competed in the game. I was proud of that. We were physical in the game. We played tough in the game. We tried to, out-hit the other opponent, outrun the other. I mean, all those types of things you always talk about, the intangibles, I thought we did, and if we didn't, they tracked. But I'm going to say this, ULM you got to remember now, that's 20 starters back. You're not going in and playing a team who is inexperienced, who played at Auburn, who played at LSU, who played at Arkansas last year. An Arkansas game against them last year was 7-0 at halftime, and 14-0 at the end, and Arkansas ended up going to the Sugar Bowl and being pretty daggone good. I mean, they had 20 starters coming back, so that team. I'm not saying they would win the SEC or the ACC or the Big 10 or the Big 12, but that's not a bad football team. Some good athletes on that football team.
Could you talk about the emotions for Coach Strickett and Clint and that whole thing?
Well, I mean, I think he can probably talk to him more than that, but it's just your son. I mean, anytime you're out there, it's the first time you're ever playing, and and I think sometimes it probably makes it worse on a coach. You know everything that goes into it, sometimes even more than you do if it was just a parent who wasn't in there coaching and all the things you go through, because you see the practices, you see the sweat, you see all that kind of stuff. And then you catch yourself as a coach, how hard you ride everybody else, how hard you're on everybody else, how hard you're doing that. And then all of a sudden it's your son out there, and he makes that play, really puts it in perspective for him. But, I mean, it's a proud moment. I mean, that's one of those moments as a father that you'll remember forever and ever, and what happened and where you're at in life and what time it was and those things, what you were doing on that special day, and it's a very special moment. I was very happy for both of them.
Have you seen that happen much? A first pass, go for a touchdown to a guy who's first. I mean, it's just.
I was thinking about that. I've seen guys, baseball hit a home run the first time up or something like that. I don't know if I've seen 2 guys though that are involved with the catch and the throw that the first time they walk on the field that it's a touchdown. Not anything that I can remember anyway.
It looked like from the TV cameras, Jimbo, that Rick was trying to do his best. So like, gosh, nothing really special.
Probably. Well, I didn't. Actually, I congratulated him afterwards, but I guess he'd already calmed back down because after we went and congratulated Clint and we made the adjustments on the sideline and did all that. I didn't catch. I didn't even know that till the highlights or whatever someone told me, and I happened to catch it. I was home watching ESPN that night, and someone said, "What are you talking about?" And I looked, and I said, "Wow, ESPN even caught him." It was fun.
You know, over time they say going from the first to the second game is where a team usually will make it. How in the world do you make your most improvement plan, the club you're going to play this Saturday?
I think probably it's about us. Hey, the thing about sports that I think that we as coaches always emphasize, and players don't always believe it, and y'all don't always believe it, and I say that, and fans don't always believe it.